Barry, exciting night in prospect tomorrow. Just trying to work out your team news. How are the guys looking in that regard?
Good news. Leon Balogun trained today. Cherny trained, Bailey Rice and Red Van. So that's good news for us. Sorry, you want to start again? No?
One more time, sorry Barry, thanks. So you've got good news?
Yeah, it's good news. Leon Balogun trained, Red Van trained, Cherny trained and Bailey Rice trained. So hopefully when they wake up tomorrow there's been no issues, and as I said, hopefully we're going to be strong. Also we've got John Suter back and Deal Mandy as well, so things are looking pretty healthy, but as I said, I just need to wait until tomorrow morning, speak to the medical staff, and hopefully I get the thumbs up.
Great news with regards Bailey Rice, because it looked like a bad one last week, so you'll be glad to have him available for this one. Is there a real excitement around the squad coming to this city and the stadium and this huge match?
Yeah, well, you're in a quarter-final and you've got a brilliant opportunity. I think the game's wide open, as I've mentioned after last Thursday's game. So, yep, spoke with the players today. These are the games you want to be involved in as a football player and also as a manager. So, but we're looking forward to it. But we also understand that we're up against a very good team who have got a very good home record. So we will need to be really prepared. We've worked pretty hard over the last couple of days. So we're obviously looking forward to the game now.
Barry, you can go back to 2008, Fiorentina, Manchester and what have you. Is it the same sort of application and attitude you'll need to get through tomorrow night?
Yeah, well, same work ethic that team I played in. We're very workmanlike. That's what I want to see from my team, but also we've got good footballers. So when we have the ball, certainly in a ground like this, or a stadium like this, should I say, you need to be able to keep it. So we've spoken about that as well, because we need to defend, because they're a very attack-minded team, but also when we, as I said, when we gain possession of the ball, we need to be better. And that's something that we've obviously spoke about and we've worked on.
Yeah, obviously you had 10 men for most of the game in the first leg. What do you need in the second leg to get through against Athletic?
To keep 11 on the pitch. Also it happened in Sunday in the game against Aberdeen. So we need to make sure we keep 11 men on the pitch. And if we do that, I think we'll have a good opportunity. But again, I'll go back to it. I'm always respectful of the opponent and the manager I come up against. Again, over the last 3 days since the Aberdeen game, we've again watched them closely. We know their qualities, we know their strengths, but also we've got to know their weaknesses at times. So that's something that we've worked on over the last couple of days, and hopefully we can get through them.
Barry, what is it about this team of yours in Europe when your domestic form hasn't been great? Why do you think they managed to find something on the big occasion?
I've been asking myself that for the last 6 weeks I've been in. Certainly in the Europa League, the form has been very, very consistent. Obviously domestically it has been an issue. There's no doubt about that, and that's something myself as a manager and my coaching staff and alongside the players we've been trying to work hard at. But we need to continue the form we've shown in the Europa League, and if we do that, I think we'll have a real good opportunity to hopefully progressing into the semi-final.
You played in some huge European games for the club. You're now in the dugout. Does it still have that same feel to it, the sense of occasion? Yeah,
listen, it's... Look, you want to play, there's no doubt, but the days are well over for me. And the next best thing is being a manager. I never thought this opportunity would have happened. As I said, I'm loving every single minute of it. It's a bit different from what I'm used to, but I'm really enjoying my time, and I'm looking forward to it. I said to my players, you've got to look forward to these occasions, you've got to embrace these occasions, and that's certainly something that I'm hopeful they'll do, and I'm going to do the same.
Barry, the Spanish journalists this afternoon were asking your counterpart a lot about the fact he went down to 10 men so early. and that they maybe wouldn't know what to expect. Do you see that in hindsight and how the game panned out? Do you see that as an advantage for you going into this one?
Yeah, well, last Thursday, again, before the game, as you do as a manager and a coaching staff, you work on things that we wanted to do during the game, and that kind of went out the window once Robin gets sent off, and then you have to totally change the way that you have to approach it with 2 banks of 4 really deep and surrender so much possession. So hopefully tomorrow night it'll be different in terms of we keep 11 men on the pitch. But we've got a game plan. The players fully understand that. As I said, we had a day off after the Aberdeen game, Tuesday and Wednesday. We've obviously worked really hard on what way we have to approach it if we want to try and get into the semi-final.
Barry, you've got the possibility to be the man to lead Rangers to a European semi-final. Where would that rank for you in terms of all that you've achieved for Rangers?
Good question. Obviously it would rank right up there, because as I said 6 weeks ago, I wouldn't imagine I would have been in this position, standing at the sideline as manager of Glasgow Rangers. So yeah, it would rank up there with what I've done in football as a player. There's no doubt in my mind about that, but it's not about me. I've always said that. It's about my group of players going and showing their qualities at the highest level, and this is a high level game for us. And I'm confident that they'll go and show that tomorrow night.
Buenas tardes, bienvenido a Bilbao. Javier Ortiz de Lazcano del Correo de Bilbao. La víspera del partido dijo en Glasgow que el Atleti era el mejor equipo de la competición y el favorito para ganarla. ¿Sigue pensando lo mismo? Gracias.
Yes, my opinion's not changed. I think they're favourites for the competition. I think they've got some top level players alongside a top level manager. So my opinion hasn't changed on Athletic Club.
Barry had a big decision to make in goals last week. I just wonder if Hamza's performance at the weekend gives you a good headache, a big decision to make at number 9 tomorrow as well.
I've always got big decisions to make. In terms of Hamza done well, but I think Hamza can do a lot more still. I'm very demanding in that side of his game. There's no doubt Hamza's got so much quality, technically so gifted, but he needs to add other things to his game, and that's something that we've been working hard on. But in terms of the team selection tomorrow, as I said, I've went with a team. I already know my team. The players already know the team, and I've picked a team that's hopefully going to go and progress into the semi-final.
But I'm just wondering what you're like before games like this in the dressing room. Are you big on last-minute speeches, rousing messages to the players? What have you got in your head? What you're going to say to the players before they go out?
Yeah, a bit of both. I don't like to say too much in the lead-up. I allow my coaches to do a bit of that. I obviously have the final decision and say certain things, but certainly before the game, before they step out in the pitch, I certainly have a couple of minutes for them, and you can imagine what has been said. Maybe at the start it was a bit strange for them, but now they're starting to get used to what I'm like just before a game. Because listen, every game I enter I want to win, and I want my players to be like that.
I'm just wondering as well, do you foresee this game could be a long night? Could it potentially, in your mind, go all the way? And have you been practising penalties?
Yeah, that's a high possibility. But my players showed that they can do that against Fenerbahce. They can go right to the end. There's no doubt about that. In terms of practising penalties, I leave that up to the players. Some stay out and do things like that, but ideally I don't want it to go to penalties at extra time. But it may have to, but we're well prepared for that.
Barry, you spoke about the workmanlike qualities of your team that went all the way to Manchester. I'm just thinking, in that run you had to go away from home and second legs a lot of time to get the results that got you through. Can you just talk through what was required in those situations to, it's going to be similar to tomorrow night when the pressure and you're going to have everything with the crowd all going against you. What is required in those scenarios?
A lot of discipline. The way that we're going to set up and play tomorrow night, it only takes one member of the team to switch off, and if that happens, they're going to hurt us. So it's important that we're switched on every single second of the game, and that's something that we're big on. I'm certainly big on as a manager, so are the coaching staff, and certainly the players understand that, because you've got your roles and responsibilities with and without the ball. So sometimes tomorrow night we're going to be without the ball, so we need to be set up really strong, and again, that's something that we've worked on over the last couple of days.
Can you just give the word on how important it is having John Souttar back? We saw in Istanbul the quality of his performance, the bravery of his performance last night. Just how encouraged are you to have him back available?
Yeah, but look, Suits is a big player. He's a player that I've always rated and admired, and certainly when you get to work with him day in, day out, you see how good he really is. And I think as he's getting more mature as a centre back, I think he's getting better. He's one of the leaders in the team, so having John back from suspension obviously is a big help to us.
Last question, please.
Hi Barry, do you think you can tap into the pressure around here for Bilbao, because final's going to be here, they've got the home crowd? Is that something you've spoken to the players about?
No, look, the players understand the final's going to be here, and I would reckon the players will be desperate to get to the final. But we're in front of them. We need to go and show that we're desperate to get to a final. But we've got a big 90 minutes or a big 30 minutes in extra time, and it could get into the penalties. But we're fully prepared, and we understand that obviously they're going to come at us. There is no doubt about that. But we're going to be prepared for that.
Thank you.
All right, cheers guys.
Is there a buzz around the camp coming into this one?
Yeah, it's the quarter final, second leg, ultimate played for.
Oh, is that it?
That's us.
Yes, quarter final, second leg, all to be played for. Thought we did a really good job with 10 men, well even 9 men towards the end of the first leg. Limiting their chances. And it's a great opportunity for the team to get to a semi-final.
You've been here before at this stage. How much of the experience against Braga, as it was 3 years ago, can you take from that into this?
Yeah, it's really important that we all play together as a team. I think that's what got us to the final last time, as a unit, as a whole team, playing together and just really working hard for one another. And I think that's key for tomorrow, doing the same like we did in the first leg, working really hard for one another, limit their chances, and just try and obviously keep 11 on the pitch and create chances and score.
Ronnie?
A lot of talk from the Spanish guys beforehand was about the pressure the home side are feeling, obviously with the final and whatnot. How do you view that personally? Obviously you'll have your own internal pressures as well, obviously, but is there something that you can use within the crowd or nervousness or whatnot that you can actually use that to your advantage, never mind the home side?
You always want to try to, unsettle home fans when you play away. You want to frustrate the opposition. You want to frustrate the home fans and try to maybe cause errors within the game. Look, these are one of the favourites for the competitions, and we're obviously big underdogs coming into this game, but we're really going to relish this challenge and really be on the front foot and take the game to them, because it's a beautiful stadium. Just walking around it now, and there'll be something that we obviously want to try and come back to for the final.
James, just talking about the final, obviously you reached a few years ago. I mean, how often do you still think about that night, the regrets of that night, the what-ifs of that night, and how much is there desire within you to have another crack at it and this time get over the line with it?
Yeah, I've still never watched a replay of the game, so yeah, I think when I eventually hang my boots up, I'll revisit it. But it was obviously a hard one because it was penalty shootout. That's the one that really hurts, but to have that experience going all the way through the rounds and to get to the final, it was once in a lifetime. But obviously we have a really good chance at this stage of the season. We know we've got a tough opposition tomorrow, the talent that they've got throughout the team, but anything's doable as long as we all stick together and really push for it.
You say once in a lifetime, but there's an opportunity for you here to do it twice. I mean, that is, you must feel that this? Does it feel like there's a second chance here to do something special?
Yeah, we're in the driving seat. It's everyone's game tomorrow, so that's what we'll look. We'll look to leave everything out on that pitch with no regrets, and anyone who's asked to come on the pitch, if they're not in the starting 11, yeah, give it their all, and that's what we'll be doing. Especially with all the travelling fans coming to support us and the fans back at home, we obviously want to give them a night that they can remember as well.
James, as you sit here now, what is it that gives you the belief that you can go all the way this year?
We'll obviously look at the opposition that we've played so far and the games leading up to this stage. If you look at the teams that qualified, we played majority of the teams getting through that. So we believe that we can play anyone on our day, and we'll always believe that we can go toe-to-toe with teams. European competitions has always been good for us. So yeah, we've got great belief in that change room. We know what we have to do. We always have to be alert tomorrow, always concentrated. We know we're going to have to suffer as well as a team without the ball, but yeah, we're really looking forward to doing that, and hopefully we can catch them on the counters.
You yourself have been playing in a number of positions this season, in this run. How do you feel about that, and where do you prefer playing, and how do you feel about the whole thing in terms of where you play in the team?
Wherever the manager, the team needs me to play, I'll play anywhere to help the team. I've found it really comfortable moving the positions. Back into the right side as centre back, into right wing back, into right back. All familiar positions that I played when I was younger. So really comfortable, and like I said, I'm just here to do a job for the team and help the team and the club the best way I can.
You mentioned the experience of the previous run. Is that something you've found quite valuable over this run and the experience of that? Have you been able to pass that on to some of the players who weren't there for it?
I haven't in ways, because as you've looked through this competition this season, the lads have really stood up to the challenge against other teams, and we've really stuck together in games where I've not had to say much. The boys have really taken it upon themselves to be professional, to be mature the way they play, and it was a credit to the team. The last game where we played with 10 men, having to suffer without the ball, then going down to 9 men towards the late stages of the game, and Liam saving the penalty. So the team have really thrived under these conditions. So, but I'll obviously put small reminders that we'll obviously have to stick together as a team, and I think the boys know that.
You mentioned there as well, James, about being in the driving seat. What is it that makes you say that? Coming into the second leg, you feel as though you've got a kind of advantage coming here? Well,
it's all in our hands, isn't it? You're against 11 opposition, and it's in our hands to win the game, to give them a difficult night. So we only can control our own destiny, and that's the main thing. So we have to be all fully committed, really, really aggressive tomorrow. Like I said, that we'll have to suffer, but suffer together as a team, and then attack together as a team. So, yeah, when I say in the driving seat, that's what I meant by that. We can only control our outcomes and what we do.
Okay, guys. Any more? Happy?
Oh, nice.
Thank you very much.